Let's talk about the Hyundai Ioniq 6, an all-electric sedan that's turning heads with its futuristic design and impressive features. The Ioniq 6 boasts a streamlined, pebble-like shape that not only looks cool but also reduces drag, enhancing efficiency. Its smart front end, pop-out door handles, and sleek roofline give it a modern vibe. However, the twin spoiler at the back might be a bit polarizing. Inside, you'll find a setup similar to the Ioniq 5, featuring 2 large displays and a clean, user-friendly layout. There are handy storage spaces, including see-through door pockets to keep track of your items. The materials used feel premium, adding to the overall comfort. One thing to note is the sloping roofline. While headroom is adequate for most adults, the lowered seat cushions might lead to less thigh support on longer trips. Also, fitting 3 adults in the back can be a bit tight. The trunk offers 401 liters of space, which is less than competitors like the BMW i4, Tesla Model 3, and Polestar 2. So, if you frequently haul a lot of gear, this is something to consider. The Ioniq 6 comes with a 77 kilowatt-hours battery, available in 2 configurations: a single motor with 228 horsepower and rear-wheel drive, or a dual motor with 325 horsepower and all-wheel drive. Thanks to its efficient design, you can expect up to 338 miles of range on the RWD model, and around 322 miles with the WD+. It supports ultra-fast charging, adding significant range in just minutes. The Hyundai Ioniq 6 combines futuristic styling with impressive tech and performance. While it may not offer as much cargo space as some rivals, its efficiency and design make it a compelling choice for those looking to make the switch to electric. Alright, let's talk about what it's actually like to drive the Hyundai Ioniq 6. This thing is super easy to drive. Around town, you've got multiple brake regeneration options, ranging from full one-pedal driving where you barely need to touch the brakes, to full-on coasting with zero resistance. So whether you like that aggressive regen feel or prefer to let the car roll naturally, you've got choices. The suspension, not the softest out there, but definitely comfortable enough for daily driving. And visibility, pretty solid all around, which is always a plus now. Whichever motor setup you go for, whether it's the single motor, RWD, or the dual motor, AWD acceleration is smooth and responsive. It's got plenty of pickup for merging onto highways or zipping out of junctions. At higher speeds, comfort remains decent, though you might notice some road and wind noise creeping in. So yeah, the Ioniq 6 might not be the most practical EV out there, especially compared to the Ioniq 5. But if you're after a sleek, futuristic design with a stylish interior and solid range, this one's definitely worth considering. And if you're thinking about getting one, be sure to check out some deals or even browse used Ioniq 6 models. Oh, and if you need to sell your current car first, there are plenty of easy ways to do that online. Just snap some photos, upload your details, and let dealers bid on it. Easy. Would you take the Ioniq 6 over something like a Tesla Model 3 or a Polestar 2? Let me know in the comments. Alright, let's talk pricing. The Hyundai Ioniq 6 has an RRP between £47,040 and £55,290. So yeah, it's not exactly cheap. But here's the good news. If you shop smart, you can save a decent chunk of change through Carwo, for example. You can knock off around £4,976 on average, bringing the starting price down to £42,414 if you're paying cash, and if you're thinking about financing, monthly payments start at £406. Now, if a brand new Ioniq 6 is still a bit out of reach, used ones are popping up for as low as £25,991, which is a pretty solid deal for a futuristic EV like this. So, would you buy the Ioniq 6 at these prices, or are you holding out for something else? Let me know in the comments. Now, let's be real. Like most EVs, the Ioniq 6 isn't exactly cheap. Among its main rivals, only the BMW i4 is pricier. The Tesla Model 3 and Polestar 2 both come in at a lower price point. And here's something to think about. If you're looking for practicality, the Ioniq 5 actually costs less and gives you more space. So, you've really got to decide if you're in it for the sleek design and efficiency of the Ioniq 6, or the extra room and versatility of its SUV sibling. Would you go for the Ioniq 6, Or does something like the Model 3 or Polestar to make more sense for you? Drop a comment and let me know. Driving the Hyundai Ioniq 6 around town is a breeze. The steering is light, and thanks to that near-instant power from the electric motor, you get plenty of punch pulling out of junctions. Now the turning circle is 11.8 meters, which is just a bit wider than the Tesla Model 3, 11.5 meters, and Polestar to 11.6 meters. But honestly, it's still more than maneuverable enough for city driving. Visibility, pretty solid. Big wing mirrors, a decent-sized rear window, and only minor blind spots. And if you want extra peace of mind, you can opt for all-round cameras to help with parking. Speaking of mirrors, Hyundai offers wing cameras for £995, which replace the traditional side mirrors with digital screens mounted on the dashboard. Sounds futuristic, right? But honestly, they're not really worth it unless you're into cool tech. The range benefits are minimal, and they take some getting used to. A good old-fashioned mirror just feels more natural. One area where the Ioniq 6 falls short compared to its sibling, the Ioniq 5, is ride comfort. The Ioniq 5 just handles bumps better, while the Ioniq 6 has a slightly firmer feel. It's not uncomfortable, but it's definitely not as cushy as it could be. Would you take the Ioniq 6 over the Ioniq 5, or does the extra comfort and space of the 5 make more sense? Let me know in the comments. So, like most EVs, the Hyundai Ioniq 6 is super quiet on the motorway, no engine noise, just smooth electric power. But here's the catch. Because the powertrain is so silent, you start to notice other noises. On rougher surfaces, you'll hear some tire noise, and there's a bit of wind noise around the mirrors. Not a deal breaker, but something to be aware of. That said, it's very capable on longer drives. The ride is comfortable enough to smooth out most bumps, and even the rear-wheel drive version has plenty of power to get up to speed quickly. But here's the reality of EV road trips. You're probably not going to hit the full 338-mile range on a long highway drive. As with most electric cars, high-speed cruising isn't the most efficient, so just keep that in mind. At first glance, the Ioniq 6 looks like it should be fun on a back road. It's low, sleek, and sporty looking. But in reality, it's more of a comfortable, refined cruiser than a back road thriller. If you're after sharp, engaging handling, the BMW i4 is the better choice. The steering is quicker, and the car feels more planted through corners, which gives you more confidence to push it. That said, if you adjust your expectations and don't go in thinking it's a sports car, the Ioniq 6 can still put a smile on your face. It's just happier when you take things a little easier. Would you pick the Ioniq 6 for a long road trip? Or would you rather have something like the BMW i4? Drop a comment and let me know. Getting comfortable in the Ioniq 6 is pretty easy up front. There's plenty of adjustment, and the layout takes a sportier spin on what Hyundai introduced with the Ioniq 5. Instead of a massive open space between the front seats, you get a solid center console with a big storage area underneath. You've also got big cup holders, a wireless charging pad, and a deep space under the armrest, so there's no shortage of places to stash your stuff. One interesting design choice: no traditional glove box. Instead, there's a drawer-style compartment. That works just like a normal flip-down. One though, unlike the Nissan Ariya, it's not motorized. Now the door bins. They're see-through, which is a cool touch since you won't lose anything in them. But they're a bit too narrow for a proper-sized water bottle though, with all the extra storage in the middle. It's not a huge deal. Since there's no transmission tunnel, rear foot space, and near room are excellent. But here's the catch: the sloping roofline eats into headroom for taller passengers. Hyundai tried to fix this by lowering the seat base, but that leads to less under-thigh support, which might make long journeys less comfortable. On the plus side, if you need to fit a child's seat, the Ioniq 6 is a solid choice. The doors open wide, and there's plenty of legroom, so even bulky seats fit without making the front passenger uncomfortable. The ISAFIX points are a bit fiddly to access between the seat cushions, but the top tether mounts are easy to reach. Storage in the back, decent. You get door bins, seat back nets, and a fold-down armrest with cup holders. Not bad, but nothing groundbreaking. Now this is where the Ioniq 6 falls short. The boot holds 401 liters, which is less than the Polestar 2 405L, Tesla Model 3425L, and BMW i447OL, and because it has a saloon-style trunk opening, it's not as practical for loading big items. At least you can fold the rear seat's 60/40th split, using pull tabs in the boot. One bonus, unlike the Polestar 2 and BMW i4, the Ioniq 6 has a front trunk frunk. It's not huge. Tesla still does this better, but it's handy for storing your charging cables. So while the Ioniq 6 looks sleek and futuristic, it's not quite as practical as some of its rivals. Would you take the stylish design over extra boot space? Let me know in the comments. Just like the outside, the interior of the Ioniq 6 is modern and minimalist, but it might not be to everyone's taste. You've got the color options, gray or black, and if you want the cabin to feel a bit more open and spacious, go for the lighter option. Overall, it's got a lounge-like vibe, and the seats are pretty comfortable though. The headrests are a little oddly shaped. Now, let's talk about tech. There are two big screens, and while there's a bit of blank space around them, the overall layout is clean and easy to use. One weird design choice: the Drive Select stalk is tucked away low down behind the steering wheel, which takes some getting used to, but everything else is exactly where you'd expect it to be. One thing Hyundai got right: physical climate controls. Unlike BMW's i4, where you have to dig through the screen, the Ioniq 6 keeps the climate controls separate, making them way easier to use while driving. The infotainment system itself is straightforward, with clear graphics, simple menus, and a driver's display that gives you everything you need at a glance. And yes, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard, so you can ditch the cables if you want. You also get a wireless charging pad and a USB port for wired charging. The only optional tech upgrade: the digital wing cameras that replace the standard side mirrors. They look cool, but are they worth it? More on that later. You don't get multiple battery options with the Ioniq 6 just 177 kWh pack, but you do get a choice between a single motor RWD version with 338 miles of range, dual motor, a WD version with 322 miles of range, 23 miles more range than the Ioniq 5, thanks to the Ioniq 6's sleeker shape. The AWD version trades a little range for extra grip in slippery conditions. So, it depends on what you need. But here's the best part: charging is ridiculously fast. If you find a DC fast charger, you can go from 10 to 80% in under 20 minutes thanks to 232 kilowatts charging speeds. So, you can grab a coffee, stretch your legs, and be ready to go again in no time. And as of right now, EVs like this don't pay road tax. But starting in April 2025, that's changing, and EV owners will have to pay tax like everyone else. On the bright side, if you're using the Ioniq 6 as a company car, you'll still benefit from super low benefit-in-kind tax rates. The Hyundai Ioniq 6 has earned a full 5-star safety rating from Euro NCAP, making it one of the safest options in its class. It achieved an impressive 97% score for adult occupant protection, along with 87% for child occupants, 90% for safety assistance systems, and 66% for vulnerable road users, such as pedestrians and cyclists. Hyundai has packed the Ioniq 6 with an extensive list of safety features, all included as standard. These include blind spot collision avoidance, forward collision avoidance, lane keep and follow assist, highway drive assist, rear cross-traffic alert, and parking collision avoidance. The car is also equipped with front thorax and pelvis airbags, as well as equal emergency assistance in Europe. While these features contribute to the Ioniq 6's strong safety credentials, some of them can feel overly intrusive. The speed limit warning system is a prime example. It alerts the driver as soon as the car exceeds the limit, which could be useful, except that it frequently misreads road signs on side streets, triggering unnecessary alerts. Similarly, the lane keep assist system works well on highways, but can feel intrusive on winding roads, where it tugs at the steering wheel unexpectedly. Overall, the Hyundai Ioniq 6 offers excellent protection for occupants and is equipped with a comprehensive suite of safety systems. However, some of these features may require adjustments or deactivation to avoid distractions during everyday driving. The Hyundai Ioniq 6 hasn't been on sale for too long, so it's still early to gauge its long-term reliability. However, considering the Ioniq 5, which shares much of its mechanical setup, hasn't had major reliability issues, this is a good sign for the Ioniq 6's future. Hyundai in general has a strong track record for reliability and owner satisfaction, which adds to the confidence in the Ioniq 6.2 back it up. Hyundai offers a 5-year limited mileage warranty with every new Ioniq 6. On top of that, the battery comes with an impressive 8-year or 100,000-mile warranty. You also get 5 years of annual vehicle health checks, which shows Hyundai's commitment to keeping the car in top shape for years to come. So, while it's still early to make final judgments, the Ioniq 6 is backed by solid coverage and a good reliability reputation.